he was being chased and he kind of did a loop-de-loop. And he did things like, if A&M is going to win, Marcel's going to have to play really well.
Yeah, I agree.
So I think Marcel could become a candidate.
A sign of things that aren't good is that if Jeremiah Love next week is on that Heisman list, if he goes off against Texas, because he was expected to be on that list.
Right.
And he might end up on that.
I expect him to be. But in order for him to be there, his coach is going to have to figure out, and I hope he doesn't figure out until next week, but his coach is going to have to figure out, you got a stud horse, you need to ride him.
Do it. Yep. Well, and I think Charlie Weiss alluded to this a little bit yesterday, and I talked to a Notre Dame insider on the phone the other day that part of the reason, look, they needed to give the ball to Jeremiah Love more regardless, but some of it was the RPOs that C.J. Carr held on to it more than he should have.
Okay.
I hope he makes that mistake again. I hope he hasn't learned.
Well, to me, does the coach not realize that his inexperienced quarterback is holding on the ball too much for RPOs? And hey, maybe because we're in a game they lost, right? We're in a game. Maybe we need to just turn around and give the ball to our best player.
Right.
Again, I hope they don't.
I hope they don't either.
Every play, even if it's successful, that Jeremiah Love doesn't touch the ball is a gift.
It is a gift. But if you look at last year's stats, it wasn't just Jeremiah Love.
No. Price had almost ran for like just about 100 yards less.
So Love 14 carries for 91 yards.
Yeah.
Can't have that happen again. Jadarian Price 8 carries for 44 yards. I don't think C.J. Carr is going to rush for what Riley Leonard did against A&M. Riley Leonard also, by the way, I think they rushed for 198 total yards, but 12 carries for 63 yards.
Yeah, and it seemed like, I know they weren't, but it seemed like they were always on third and down.
Yeah. Jaden Greathouse had not become Jaden Greathouse yet. He had 3 catches for 26 yards. I heard a bite from him. He said that the A&M DBs are a little handsy. They play a little handsy.
Well, get ready.
Get ready.
Coming for you.
A hand and a blanket. How about that? By the way, we are on TV again.
Great.
I the TV people. We appreciate humans. Anyway, let's go to the Angry Elephant News and Social Center and do Deja Vu. Introducing to the show, because he forgot to turn on his microphone. He didn't know he was supposed to turn it on, apparently. Alex Schoonover making his TexAgs debut. All right, so let's pretend like you didn't tell us that your dad played at A&M and your mom is also an Aggie. Okay, tell us. Tell us the story again.
All right, so I've been following sports my whole life, especially Texas A&M sports, and I remember getting an email. I drove up here to audition, and I secured the job, and I'm honored to be sitting in this seat right now, and I can't wait to see what this great company has to offer in the future.
Yeah.
What year are you in at A&M?
Freshman.
Oh.
So here's the deal. I'm going to brag about you. We don't always take freshmen. In fact, we almost don't like to take freshmen because we want you to, learn school, right? When you get to college, you got to learn it, right?
Uh-huh.
And he knocked his freaking audition out the park. I was like, we were like, we got to make this work.
Maybe, he's going to be for us kind of like what Donovan Wilson coming from Shreveport was.
There you go.
For that defense.
There you go.
Donovan Wilson, yeah.
Hey, so Schoonover. Do you like to go by Schoonover or Alex?
I like Alex.
Okay.
I go by anything. Schoonover.
How about Bob? Can I call you Bob?
Bob, yeah.
No, I'm kidding.
Scoon?
Scoon. Yeah, that's what I get called all the time.
Hey, Scoon.
Yeah, Scoon. That was my nickname in high school.
All right, Scoon. Well, give us a little bit of news, please.
I'm going to start off with volleyball. The Aggies took on the 15th-ranked TCU Horned Frogs last night on the road in Fort Worth. The Aggies dropped a close one with the final score being 2-3. Logan Lednecke continues to shine with a strong performance of 14 kills and 15 digs. Jamie Morrison and the Aggies look to bounce back at Reed Arena Thursday, September 18th at 6 p.m. against Southeastern Louisiana.
Awesome stuff. Let's hit a break here. We're going to come back with Esteban McGee.
All right.
We'll chit-chat a little bit with Steven about all things.
It's always fun.
Yep. Right now, let's, currently, we failed the test today. You know that.
What test was that?
We're supposed to wear a duck camp shirt test. Actually, we're not supposed to, but it would have been good.
Okay. I would have worn it.
Yeah. Sometimes it's a good segue to talk about it.
Well, I came to work wearing these shorts that people like to make fun of here, these Bermuda shorts kind of thing. They're all blue and colorful. And I thought, I don't think my duck camp stuff actually color-wise works. So I went with the white TexAgs shirt.
Well, it's a good look, but duck camp gear.
Duck camp, I look great in the duck camp gear. In fact, the shirt I wore yesterday would have worked with the shorts, but I wore it yesterday. And I know had I worn the same shirt day after, the same 2 days in a row, I would have caught ridicule.
If they ever make a geriatric like modeling page, like an OnlyFans, you would wear duck camp gear all over it.
I love the duck camp gear. In fact, yesterday I had on that shirt, and my wife even texted me. I could show you the text telling me how good it looked.
It did look good on you. By the way, duck camp is built for the outdoors, designed for everything else. They've got it all, the hoodies, the scout shorts, the essential hoodie, the lightweight fishing shirt, you name it, whether you're gearing up for a hunt or a fishing trip or just trying to survive September in College Station, check out duckcamp.com. Again, built for the outdoors and designed for everything else. And we're back. TexAgs Live, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers Rollo Insurance Studio. The Go Hour, presented by The Warehouse at CC Creations. Let's go to the Buppy's Catering and Bartending Hotline. That's where we find our QB1, Stephen McGee. He's also the QB1 in your financial QB at Paragon Financial Advisors, helping you call the right place for your financial future. Mr. McGee, good morning, sir. Where are you?
Good morning, fellas. I'm in good old Arizona this morning, doing a little work trip. Nice and hot out here.
Looks beautiful, man.
Yeah, beautiful for sure. But I guess it is dry heat, certainly. But man, it's next level.
Yeah. Hey, so we were just asked a moment ago how we're feeling about this game against Notre Dame, and I'm in a weird place where, like, I'm not pessimistic, I'm not optimistic. I'm kind of like, let's go find out. Where are you when it comes to this game?
I'm right there with you. Yeah, like it's a show me game, right? It's like everyone in the NFL used to always say it's a show me league. You're only as good as your last game. And look, I think there's reasons to believe that A&M's going to go up there and handle business, and I'm very optimistic about that. I love Mike Elko. I think he's a dog. I think he's a really good scheme guy, and I think this is a week for Mike Elko to shine as the leader of this football team, getting his guys hungry. I think there should be a chip on their shoulder. Look, it's going to come down to the team that protects the football and gets explosive plays, and then the defense that can tackle, right? Tackle in space. That's so important this week. And so I think we have the ability to go to Notre Dame and beat them.
Stephen, I hate to keep using the word confident, but I can't think of a better word. So how confident are you in that these big plays that you're getting from the transfer receivers, but you got them against UTSA and Utah? How confident are you that also translates to big plays against teams like Notre Dame and that ilk?
Yeah, I'm very confident. I don't think that Concepcion, Craver, and even Bussy and Bethel Roman, I don't think any of these guys are going to have a problem getting open and creating plays. And then, in the backfield, I felt like last week especially, all three runners had explosive plays. And so I'm very confident. But I look, again, I go back to, and I hate to harp on this, but the difference in these type of football games is really clean quarterback play. And so one of the things I'm keenly going to be watching is that Marcel Reed uses his legs like he did last week. I thought like there was an intent in the game plan, and then both the improvisation of him to create plays in the pass game when it's not there to tuck it and run. And that's so important. And when you're playing a good defensive team, the thing that often gets left out in the game plan is the quarterback on pass plays taking off and running. And so that's going to be a huge difference maker. I know Notre Dame loves to use their quarterback in the run game. They did it last year and in week 1 against Miami, even with a guy that's not nearly as athletic as Riley Leonard was, right? They were doing quite a few quarterback draws, quarterback sweeps. They want to get that numbers advantage in the run game. So it's going to be very important to eliminate the quarterback run game for both defenses, and then being clean, tackling and forcing these offenses to throw the football.
Talking to Stephen McGee here on TexAgs Live. Stephen, I know that a win or a loss doesn't ensure anything. If you win this game, doesn't mean anything. We saw that last year with a 7-1 start. If you lose, it doesn't mean anything, right? But that being said, doesn't it feel like it could send this season down two paths? One is, at least from a perception standpoint, here we go again. And the other one is like, all right, guys, we finally arrived. We won on the road against the top team. Let's go.
Yeah, I mean, I think it means a lot for A&M. I think that this is a huge, huge game. And, Notre Dame made it to the finals last year. And so I'm not certainly saying that they should live on their laurels. I hope they are this week. But I think this is a big turning point for this A&M football team under Mike Elko. And certainly, one game doesn't eliminate you, but it almost seemingly does in the fact that you have a full slate of SEC games in front of you against some good teams. And so, getting off to a great start, I really think sets a trajectory very differently than if you lose this one. And I'm curious OB's take on this as well. But, I think if you win this game, I think it sets up a 5-0, 6-0 start, and you're off to the races.
I hope so. I thought we were off to the races last year after they beat LSU. And so, you can't take anything for granted. I know Stephen knows this. He's played college football and NFL football. But I am going to feel really good about the prospects of the season moving forward, even if they lose a close game. But it's time to win. It's time to win these kind of games. We've been waiting for a decade. So it's time to be able to win these games. Now, Stephen, what I want to ask you about as a quarterback, as a guy that's been there, we keep hearing the speculation. They've been vanilla. They haven't shown enough. When you were a quarterback, when y'all would play some of your early games, I don't mean to bring up any bad memories because I know y'all struggled with some of those, but how much more do you add and how many wrinkles get added before you go from playing the teams that you're supposed to beat non-conference to the good teams on your schedule?
Well, let's just jump to Cowboy system. That I think that's probably a better comparable for your question. Is I think 70% of the playbook from a week-to-week basis was a strong overlap, and then the rest of the things were new wrinkles, whether it was a protection wrinkle, but a similar route concept, or vice versa. So I think the majority of the playbook really does carry over. You just do it out of different formations or different personnel groups, right? I think that's where the wrinkles really come in. I don't think that you're creating a whole new playbook with route concepts. And then, in Dallas, we had 35 plus pass protections. And so in a given week, we would use and focus on, 10 of those, let's say, just because of the way that they would align, their defensive front. And then on the back end, coverage-wise, what they prefer to do, whether it was man, quarters, two, single high, early downs and distances, we're going to be doing a lot of run-pass kills, et cetera. So it's just different. It's different every week, but it's a variation of the personnel groups, I think, that can really make a lot of difference for this A&M team. 12 personnel probably invites base defense, right? And so do you incorporate a couple running backs in that? Well, now all of a sudden you're in 22 and, it's invites a completely different defense, but you can still attack in the pass game with a guy like Bussey and Owens. And so I think that's where the wrinkles are going to happen. And then, jet sweep motions, they've been showing these jet sweeps. You hand the ball off all of a sudden and you got a completely new wrinkle.
Talking to Stephen McGee here on TexAgs Live. All right, Stephen, who can be the X factor this weekend? Is it one of the obvious ones, KC, Mario? Is it somebody I'm not thinking about? Who do you think can be the X factor?
For the X factor for me, the difference maker in big time football games is your quarterback. Marcel Reed and his legs, for me, is the X factor.
Well, I think Marcel's a factor, right? I think he's going to be one of those guys that's absolutely the focus. So when I say X factor, I'm thinking of somebody that
you're not thinking about,
right? And again, it's probably somebody like Bussey.
Yeah.
If so much attention goes to Marcel, so much attention goes to Le'Veon. And then, if you're paying any attention at all, Mario Craver and Casey Concepcion, what they're doing. Somebody's got to cover Terry Bussey,
right,
or Ashton Bethel Roman. So that's kind of what I would think. But, Stephen is the guy that played pro ball, not me. Ryan Clark wouldn't even listen to what I'd have to say.
Hey, it's just because your seventh grade coach got it wrong. You were the future All-American. They should have let you rip it more.
I would have been. I'd have been great if Coach Irby hadn't screwed me over.
Exactly right.
All right, let's hold it right here. We'll come back with a little buy, sell, hold next on TexAgs Live, and that's brought to you by Paragon Financial Advisors. All right, OB, Buppy's Catering and Bartending.
What a great place! Again, hey, look, listen to me. I have a son. He's going to graduate in May.
Yep.
Right now, he's in LSU. Unfortunately, I can't send Buppy over there, but. You got all those parents that listen to me. Your kid's going to be graduating. You're going to have a party.
Yes.
You're going to have all these things. Get a caterer.
Yes.
That's what we're trying to do.
Hey,
get a caterer.
And by the way, like if you have an office like TexAgs, we've been catering the last couple of weeks,
it's
right?
Phenomenal.
Right. The employees come down. They
can go Mexican. They can go Italian.
Yeah.
He even asked me, he said, what do you want to see next time?
The Olympics of food, right?
The Olympics of food.
Yeah, every country represented.
Every country. I think we're going to have probably Southern America represented next.
Yeah, that's coming. It's coming. They got a mobile bar too. And I know you're not a big drinker.
I'm not a big drinker.
But if you were to drink, they'd hook you up.
Yeah, and if it was free, I'd probably drink it.
I want you to do is call them up, 979-779-6417, or go to buppies.com. We love having them feed us here on Thursdays.
It really is.
Game days,
Not
right?
joking. It's phenomenal.
It's phenomenal. Check out Buppies, buppies.com,
They feed people.
779-6417. And we're back, TexAgs Live, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers, Rollo Insurance Studio. Time for a little buy, sell, hold, brought to you by Aggie-owned Paragon Financial Advisors. If you want financial guidance that truly puts you first, visit paragon-adv.com. Still talking to Stephen McGee there in Arizona on the Puppies Catering and Bartending Hotline. All right, Stephen, here's an easy one for you, right? And OB, the way A&M wins this game, here are your three options for buy, sell, hold. A&M wins with a vertical pass attack. A&M wins the ground game, or A&M limits the explosive plays. Buy, sell, hold, the most likelihood of A&M winning, which would be the best recipe, if you will. Stephen, you start us off.
Wow, it's a great one. I think I'm going to have to buy this A&M run game as a reason why we win the football game. And then hold on limiting the explosive plays. I felt like last year that was the difference, was just a couple explosive runs by Jeremiah Love and his other cohort. I mean, they're really, really good. And look, not to say it's very important, but I'll sell the vertical passing game.
OB?
Okay, I'm going to buy the limiting the explosive plays. That's talked about it.
That's how they lost.
That's why they lost last year. So you eliminate those, you have a great chance to win. I'm going to then
hold the vertical
passing attack. Why? Because they ran well enough last year, but that's what they didn't have. That's the element of the offense that just wasn't there. So if I can add this, now I've taken away their big plays. I have added big plays, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to run. So I'm not going to sell the run, but I'm going to put that third on my list and say, hey, we're keeping it. We're going to run. We're going to get some big plays that we didn't get last year. We're going to limit the big plays that we gave up last year, and we're coming for you. McGee.
I love it.
Hey.
I love it. It's well said. I guess my thought is that, last year certainly so. I think in light of the first two games, which may not be a perfect indication of where this football team is right now, but I think that the run game has more to prove offensively than the pass game. I think the pass game's been pretty consistent in its production, and I feel pretty confident those guys, even against a good back end, they have some good corners, that they'll be able to create openings for Marcel. I think it'll get him comfortable. I still, I know this offensive line's back. You have all these really good runners, and last week they had a lot of production versus Utah State, which is great to see. But I do want to see it against a really good defense. I think it's pretty stout up front. So it's going to be a great challenge for those guys.
Stephen, I know that it's not fair to use last year for this year, but that's all we really have. And in the first segment, we were talking about A&M's offense versus really good defenses. They struggled against Notre Dame offensively. They struggled against Texas. They struggled against South Carolina. Why will this game be different?
Well, I think you have year two of Marcel. You have a veteran quarterback. I think he's a great leader. I think that's probably something that's very underrated for him. I think he's not fazed by the big moments, and I think he'll make good decisions with the football. I think he knows what's being asked. And I think on the reverse of that is Colin Klein is very comfortable with what Marcel can and can't do. And so I think that they're jiving a lot better than they were at this time last year. Certainly with the Notre Dame game, you have multiple quarterbacks, or you had Connor, and then in other games you had multiple quarterbacks. So I think it comes down to big moments, come down to great coaching and really good quarterback play. And I'm very optimistic based on what I've seen that Marcel can carry the load.
Yeah, and hey, Steve, I feel like I need to apologize for earlier when I was asking about the wrinkles when you were playing. I guess there's only so many wrinkles you can put into option the ball, right or left, right?
I knew exactly that's why I pivoted to Dallas. Yeah, we had the same install every week, buddy. You are correct. That's all right.
Hey, we're going to option left against Texas, and we're going to option right against Arkansas State.
So, Stephen, as we sum it up, you don't know how you feel per se, but if A&M is able to do the things that we've seen them do this year, which is pass the ball and really limit big run plays after the first half of the UTSA game, you feel good about them going on the road and doing something good?
I do. Yeah, I feel very optimistic that this team's primed for a big win and to get the ball rolling. Awesome, man. Enjoy your trip. We'll see you next week. All right, guys. Take care. Thank you.
Steve McGee, Paragon Financial, or QB1. All right, Paragon Financial Advisors, I should say. All right, OB.
Yeah.
Tomorrow we leave.
Tomorrow we leave.
Where are we going?
We're going to Chicago.
Okay. We're going to do a
Through
video.
Houston. Heck yeah. We should do a whole video, what do you call it? A video blog?
Series. Yeah.
Yeah, we should do a
I got
vlog.
it. You follow my schedule, I follow your schedule, all right?
You know, the wife is leading tonight. Today.
Yeah. So
she's in South Bend. I'm in Chicago. How's that work?
Doesn't work out very well. Anyway, thank you, Obi. Appreciate you. When we come back, we're going to tap dance with Luke Evangelist. And after that, we got Jim Turner, AT, you name it. It's TexAgs Live. And we're back. It is TexAgs Live. Wow, that music just stopped abruptly, didn't it? It was like, no, you get no more Morgan Wallen.
I can't hear it.
Oh, you're not old enough to realize you need headphones on this show?
Nope.
Okay, that's
my first day here.
Yeah, Luke Evangelist is going to hang out with us for a moment. He's got some stats we're going to read. It's TexAgs Live, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers. We're in the Rollo Insurance Studio. But I did want to read this before we do any of that, Luke, because CBS Sports has their quarterback rankings, and I'm always curious where Marcel Reed is or an A&M player is. So we're going to kind of go through these, and I'm going to tell you right now, Marcel's 20th on the list. I don't know if I have a problem with that yet, because I think he's got a lot to prove this year.
Agreed.
But let's see if we want to eliminate anybody in front of him when we do this list, based on what we've seen so far. Sound good? They have John Mateer at number 1. Alex,
Fair.
you agree? I think it's fine.
That's fair. Yeah.
Okay. Byron Brown, number 2.
Fair.
He's been really good. Number 3, Sawyer Robertson. I mean, the numbers are ridiculous. Okay?
That's totally fair.
Okay, and they have a big win and a lot, and they've had an interesting start to their season.
And he's about to hit 1,000 yards.
Yeah, and it's been like 12 minutes.
Exactly.
Luke Altmaier, number 4. So far, I don't have problems with this list. What I do have a problem with is my computer completely freezing. Number 5, Josh Hoover. Okay, I don't got no problem with that.
Yeah, I mean, these are all guys who are throwing for a country mile so far. I don't have a problem with it.
Tommy Castellanos. Familiar with his game?
He's got the biggest win in the country.
Does he? Or does Julian Sayin have the biggest win in the country?
It's debatable.
Okay. Number 8, Bo Pribula. Numbers look fire. He's been really good. Okay. You look like you don't agree with me.
I mean, I get it. I see why he's in the top 10. They've got a good rivalry win, but we'll see. We'll see how this pans out.
This is where I'm going to start having some problems. I'm not saying this guy shouldn't be in the top 20. I don't know if he should. Jackson Arnold, number 9.
He did look really impressive in that one.
The Baylor game?
In that one game.
He ran the ball the whole time. He didn't throw.
I mean, compared to what he looked like running the ball at Oklahoma, I can see why he's up there because of that noticeable
Well, we do know that the Baylor Bears defense is very similar to the Chicago Bears defense of 1985.
Sorry,
so,
yeah.
We got Haynes King at number 10. He missed a game, had a great first game. So props to him against Colorado. Then quarterbacks 11 through 25. Devin Dampier at Utah. Diego Pavia, number 12. Damon Williams from Washington. So far, I don't got a problem with these. I don't know. Whatever. They're just, you can move people around. Dante Moore. Actually, Jaden Mavia at USC at 14. We're familiar with his game.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Dante Moore. I actually would have thought he would be higher on the list. Well, that beatdown that they put on Oklahoma State, if you're going to overrate some other people's beatdowns, you got to give him some love.
Yeah.
There. Okay? Carson Beck at 16.
That might be a little bit low.
That is extremely low. Rocco Becht at 17. Low.
He doesn't really do much, though. Like, if you really break it down, what does he have right now? 3 passing touchdowns all season?
Yeah, I think he's been pretty good. Garrett Nussmeier.
That's kind of low. I know, but after this week, I think it'll be more figured out.
They beat Clemson on the road. I mean, I'm not saying he should be number 1 on the list, but...
He should be higher, but if they beat Florida in dominant fashion, it'll take care of itself.
What it's saying to me is I'm actually okay with where Marcel is in relation to these guys based on who Marcel's played. Okay? 19, Jalen Daniels.
Fair.
I think it's fair. And then, number 20, as you guys know, is Marcel, but number 21, I think 21 and 22 are interesting. Drew Aller at Penn State. They haven't played anybody.
True.
Okay, I feel like you're laughing at me.
No, I'm agreeing with you, but that's kind of the whole point. Like, some of these guys haven't had a chance to prove themselves. Now, granted, Penn State won't get that chance for another month and a half, but...
I mean, they'll get like 2 chances this season.
Exactly.
And 22, just because we're having a conversation, I was actually surprised because 2 weeks ago, this guy was getting all the love in the world. Taylon Green.
Interesting. I thought you were going to say a name that also hasn't been said yet.
Who's that?
That was getting a lot of love.
Who's that?
Arch Manning. You haven't said him yet.
I don't see his name on the list now that you mention it. Now we're in the top 25 quarterbacks.
Wait, I thought that guy was the Heisman favorite. Anyway, he'll have plenty of chances to prove himself.
I'm not doing like a bit here. I don't see his name, and I'm actually surprised. Very surprised by that. Huh. Interesting. I'm not trying to be mean to the Texas fans that are listening right now that want to fight me.
Sandman, please be nice to us.
Sandman's always nice.
We appreciate...
he's part of the Cuban community. He just chose the wrong school. That's fine.
That's
that
okay.
happens. Anyway, you've got some stats for me to consider.
Yeah, well, I was just looking at how much does a bye week actually matter? I know it's weird because Notre Dame has such an early bye, but I think there is something to be said about when Marcus Freeman has more than a week to prepare for a team.
At home, too?
Yeah, and then when...
So you're trying to depress me. I feel like you're setting me up for
No,
depression.
I mean, the stats are... Look, they've lost the last 2 times. They've had more than a week to prepare for a team. That was the national championship and then the season opener against Miami. However, they are 10-4.
They won last year in their season opener.
Yeah, so here's the deal. If you go back to his first 2 games as the head coach, the Fiesta Bowl and then the season opener against Ohio State, they lost both.
Okay.
And then they rattled off 10 straight wins when they had more than a week to prepare.
So what you're saying is they're streaky.
They're streaky. Now, they're currently on a losing streak.
They've lost 2 in a row.
They've lost 2 of these games in a row. That is
one
season
being the
opener.
national championship game and one being a top 5 showdown.
Correct. They're 5-4 against ranked opponents when they're either off a bye, season opener, a bowl game, or a CFP game. Now, A&M on the other hand, not as much of a sample size. Obviously, only year 1 of Mike Elko. But if you look at Coach Elko's career as a head coach, if you go back to his Duke days and count A&M, he's 5-4 when his opponent has over a week to prepare. 1-2 when their opponent is coming off a bye, and 2-2 when their opponent is ranked and has a week to prepare.
You guys remember, was it week 1? And you can fact check me, Alex. But when Duke
beat Clemson, that was one of those games.
Was it week 1?
It was week 1, the season opener.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm telling you guys that that's what we signed up for. And I think this weekend, I don't know if I'm picking A&M to win yet. Honestly, like I have changed my mind 79 times like I normally do because it's A&M and I have emotional attachment and I got issues. A lot of us. But I think that's what we signed up for. I know that's what we signed up for. Like the coaching, the ability to just flip a script on a team. And I really hope that's what we get this weekend. I really like I all those good vibes that I've had. And by the way, if there's no shame in going to Notre. I'm not trying to do like what do they call it whenever
coping.
Yeah, I'm not trying to cope here, but like there's no shame in going to Notre Dame and losing on the road against a top 10 team.
Right.
But what I'm trying to say is let's end that whole thing. Let's just go there and do what we need to do and Coach Elko have the game plan that I think he will have to make life very hard for CJ Carr and unleash the madness.
Yeah, you would be handing Notre Dame their first loss under Marcus Freeman off a bye. They're 5-0 because all these losses are coming in season openers or in bowl games. They've never lost when they're coming off a bye. And you would also be getting that.
They've never lost coming off a bye that's not. So what you told me initially was when he has 2 weeks to prepare.
Exactly. So that could be a season opener, a bowl game, or a college football playoff game, and a bye week.
So let me ask you this. Okay? Not that you have the answer because you're not over there. Has Coach Elko been preparing for this game for weeks, for months?
It's possible, but however, he also had to focus on Utah State last week, whereas Notre Dame, in theory, did not.
Okay. I think the players had to focus on Utah State. But I'm wondering if everything they've been doing, because they've kept it so vanilla, like Notre Dame had to attack Miami with stuff that, when you face a team week 1, you're not really you may be holding some things back, but you're going. I don't think A&M has shown some of the offensive wrinkles that we expect this. It's been pretty there's been some nice play calls. Don't get me wrong. That touchdown to Theo in week 1 was fantastic, right? But I don't think we've seen anything crazy creative yet.
Yeah, Stanford Steve
on both
said
sides
that A&M has been keeping it vanilla, if that's a good term to categorize what he's seen from A&M so far.
Yeah, and I think that's been the case. What I want to see, though, is the chaos on the defensive side. Because I think the offense, you don't want to get too crazy against a Notre Dame defense that's got some lockdown corner, right? And I think our guys are going to be able to get the separation. As long as Marcel has time to throw, I think Mario and KC and the rest of the guys, Bussy, ABR, are going to have some opportunities to make plays. And if you are able to make those plays, what does that do for the running backs? And vice versa. If the running backs start get going and they start loading up on that, a quick pass to KC on the wings, what does that open up?
Yeah, well, I heard Obi had a stat. I didn't hear exactly what it was about explosive plays, but what I found was A&M had no plays of 20-plus yards against Notre Dame last year. That was a big reason they lost. They couldn't move the ball or have a big hitter. Last year, they were 83rd in the country in 20-plus yard plays per game. This year, they're 5th. They've had 16 through 2 games. Last year, they were averaging about 4 a game.
Well, and let's be a little bit more honest. These games have not been, UTSA got close, but it didn't feel like it was close. But Marcel's also left that game early. He probably should have left the game early anyway, but my point is, we haven't seen 4 quarters
Yeah.
of Marcel yet.
But also the competition hasn't been what you're going to face all year. So I think it evens out in that regard where, yeah, they are averaging twice as many 20-plus yard plays, but the starters have only played 6 quarters, and when they are playing, it's lesser competition to where you can take that screen pass where maybe that's 5 or 6 yards against Notre Dame, but against UTSA, that's a 30-yard touchdown for Craver.
Yeah. I think for A&M to win this game, I don't think it can be a defensive grind because I don't know if A&M has that defense yet. I hope they have that defense. I hope we find out that they do. But right now, I don't know if they're that team. I think they're going to have to beat them offensively, and I think it's going to have to be in the high 20s. I'd love 30s, but I think it's going to have to be like a 26-24 kind of win.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to. I don't think they're going to win this game in the teens.
No, I would agree. I know Josh Pate said that points would be at a premium, but I don't think A&M wants to be in a game where it's 13-10.
On the road,
7, yeah.
in South Bend.
I would prefer they run up the score because A&M's offense can do that. I'm not so much sold
Do we know
on-
that about A&M's offense?
This will be their first test against a real life top 10, probably top 15 defense. But I know what I've seen from what A&M did last year compared to what the offense looks like this year. It's not one-dimensional. And that's also, you played Notre Dame with, we don't know what was really going on with Connor Wigman.
Well, you played Notre Dame with no arms.
Exactly. You played Notre Dame very one-dimensional. You left a lot of opportunities on the board.
100 yards passing in that game?
Yeah, it was not pretty. But now you have an offense that is not just two-dimensional, but you've got multiple different ways that you can beat a team. And they've been in this moment. They've played in top 10 games. I just feel like there are opportunities to break streaks that you look at things they haven't done in 46 years or things they haven't done in over a decade. I truly believe when Coach Elko says that his team is built for a moment like this.
Well, you ready for Captain Obvious?
Yeah.
You know how A&M wins this game? It's
They score more points than Notre Dame.
Well, that's part of it. But I think, myself included, we might be focusing on the wrong thing here. We're focusing on the big plays and on both sides. We're focusing on who's running game and who can wrap up and make tackles. I'm going to simplify it for everybody. When you go on the road, don't have turnovers. Don't have turnovers ever. But in these games against these very good defenses, all the games have something in common. Multiple turnovers. You can't have 2 turnovers on the road at Notre Dame. You can't fumble. You can't throw interceptions. You can't muff a punt. You have to play clean football. If it is going to be a game where points are at a premium, you cannot have turnovers. Right? So against Notre Dame last year, you scored 13 points in that game. You lost the fumble and you threw a pick. Am I right? No, 2 picks, excuse me. You had lost a fumble and a pick against South Carolina and against Texas, same recipe.
Yeah.
You cannot do that on the road against Notre Dame.
Yeah, Marcel had that streak of, I want to say it was the last 4 games of the year he had a pick, or maybe it was 5. Either way, he ended the year on a turnover streak. And I think that's what's been most encouraging for me is that I know it's the lesser competition to start the year, but it's been relatively clean football.
Well, and unfortunately, another streak has to come to an end this week is winning against a Power 4 team.
Yeah.
I asked OB yesterday, do you remember the last Power 4 victory?
In non-conference?
Yeah. Just in
Wait,
general.
on the road or just
In general. When was the last time they beat a Power 4 team?
Miami?
LSU.
LSU, yeah.
LSU.
Oh, you mean like...
Just yes, I'm sorry.
I thought you meant
project
non-conference.
So they have lost 4 straight Power 4 games. Don't make it 5. I mean, obviously don't make it 5, but that's more than half your conference schedule. That's what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that Notre Dame's not in your conference and neither was USC, but my point is you play 8 conference games, you're already at half that. You cannot continue to lose these Power 4 games if you are the program that we expect you to be.
Yeah, and it doesn't get any easier because after Notre Dame, it's Auburn, who may be coming into Kyle Field ranked.
Yeah.
So it's not just Power 4 opponents, it's ranked opponents.
And where is A&M ranked in both scenarios? You win the game, you lose the game.
You win the game, you're a top 10 team.
You might be, or 12, right? I think if you win the game convincingly, you're a top 10 team, right? If you lose,
you don't
fall
drop
to 24?
out. You don't drop out, but you'll
be ranked lower than Auburn.
Yeah, probably. You're going into that Auburn game needing a win to stay ranked. Not that staying ranked right now matters, but it's more so for the season outlook. The rankings don't matter until November.
I'm not going to forecast losing 2 straight. You can't lose 2 straight, right? Because then everything, it's the uphill climb. This is the most winnable of those top 3 road games, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And when and if you win this game, it gives you the opportunity to make every game a journey towards your goals. If not, the journey is now climbing out of being 2 feet behind.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
Hey, do you want to talk basketball for a second?
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, let's talk basketball. What did you want to tell me? You want to tell me the non-conference schedule? And I'm not saying it as a joke.
Hey, the non-conference schedule is out. I know we've been joking, but the non-conference schedule is out. You've already seen it. There's not that many big games. It's just SMU. But I more so want to talk about, just real quick, recruiting.
There was a huge guy on campus recently.
Yeah, it was
right?
Ralph Scott, top 50 player. I think you're seeing a lot more top 100 players being recruited by Bucky McMillan.
Yep.
That is not a shot at the last staff's preference to recruit those guys or not.
You know, when you say that, it's always a shot, right? Like if you say this is not a shot at like slow people, that means I'm going to talk bad about slow people.
More of an observation that this staff sees a preference to recruit top 100 players out of high school.
What a concept, getting the best players possible to play in the SEC. Huh.
Yeah, so they've got a couple official visits this weekend and in the following weekends that you will know about first if you're a premium subscriber on TexAgs, but they've been super busy going in-home, in school, and flying out to meet these families and these recruits. Anytime I go to practice in the fall, there's like hardly any assistant coaches there because all of them are on the road the entire time. So it is nice to see that there's a lot of onus on recruiting these top 100 guys. And there's a player committing in about 15 minutes. It's Mackenzie Mbako's younger brother. Between A&M, Vanderbilt, LSU, Georgetown, those are the top schools.
How are you feeling about that one?
Not as confident. I think he'll probably end up in the SEC. I'm just not as
confident.
As confident that it'll be A&M.
Huh. Well,
I think they've got their eyes elsewhere on. There's a lot of really talented small forwards in this class, and they've got like 5 guys that are top 60 players that they're all heavily recruiting. And that's not to say that Ethan Mbako isn't a super talented player. I just think there's other players at that position that fit what they need more. But we'll be watching it. He commits 9:30 on CBS's YouTube, so we'll be watching that.
By the way, typically Ryan Swope is here with us. He his twins are having their B-Day today, so happy birthday to them. He's enjoying that. And
the Hall of Famer got subbed out for the Hall of Lamer.
That's something Billy would have brought you, Texas. Yeah. But
I'd had to beat him to the punch.
That's usually, it is sponsored by Duck Camp, so thank you to Duck Camp. We'll hit a break. We'll come back. Aaron Torres from Aaron Torres Online and Fox Sports Radio will join us. We're talking Twin Liquors, Texas family owned since 1937. They are your local home for wine, for spirits, and good vibes, where you can celebrate every sip. Twin Liquors is here to help you with all your moments that matter. Take advantage of ordering online, or you can order at twinliquors.com or get the cocktail fixing and wine delivered with DoorDash or Favor. And if you have shop for their deals of the week at Twin Liquors, every Thursday there's a fresh selection of items offered at a fantastic price. You can shop those deals in-store and online. And did you know that Twin Liquors not only has an excellent selection of wine and spirits, but they also host in-store events. Visit twinliquors.com/events to find the nearest one by you. It is Twin Liquors. Hey everyone, it's David and Olin from the Holistic Planning
Cool Zone.
You know, I like when we have the chairs here because I don't feel like I have to do this when we're talking about holistic planning. But they want you to know, TexAgs subscribers, they take care of the TexAgs subscribers.
Oh, absolutely. Take care of everybody.
They want to know that anybody who signs up by November 27, 2025 will receive this awesome offer. If the Aggies beat the Longhorns or win in Austin on November 28, 2025, clients will pay no management fees to Holistic Planning for the entire 2026 calendar year.
That's free.
It's free 99. Actually, just free.
All you got to do is beat Texas. Well, it's not if they beat Texas. It's when they beat Texas.
When. And when you go to holisticplanning.com, you're going to love Holistic Planning. So it is holisticplanning.com. Check out the website and take advantage of this awesome offer. And we're back. TexAgs Live, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers, Rollo Insurance Studios. Time for Around College Football, brought to you by Milliken Reserve. We go to the Buppy's Catering and Bartending Hotline, and that's where we find Aaron Torres. You can find his work at Aaron Torres online and, of course, Fox Sports Radio. AT, good morning, buddy.
David Nuño, what's going on, man? How are you today?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Where are you leaning this weekend with Notre Dame A&M? And give me your whys.
You know, I have the least controversial take ever. I think that this is the most intriguing game to me because I think there are a lot of uncertainties about both teams. You know, I mean, obviously you guys have spent the last, your entire careers breaking down the A&M perspective, and I don't think my perspective is much different than your guys. You know, I wonder how much, Mike Elko was necessarily, I guess, my take on A&M is it feels like Mike Elko was using week 1 and week 2 almost as like NFL preseason games, get Marcel Reed some reps, kind of get him in rhythm with that new wide receiver core. You know, when Le'Veon Moss and Ruben Owens have, I think, a combined like 20 carries on the season, I don't think that's going to be par for the course going forward. So I just don't know exactly what to expect from A&M, especially in what we know is going to be a exciting road environment. But I also think conversely with Notre Dame, weird week 1. I mean, I know they were on the precipice of winning that game, but I was thinking about this. I mean, it felt like the two things that we knew about them, well, they got this great run game with Jeremiah Love. The secondary returned a lot of people, and you felt like, okay, that's probably the strength of their defense. Well, Carson Beck largely chopped up the secondary for Miami, and then conversely, when Notre Dame had the football, they kind of were going away from Jeremiah Love, and so. Is that a question of it was just poor game management? Is it a question of they don't trust the O-line as much as we thought? So, again, it's the least controversial take ever. I actually don't know what to expect, and that's why, to me, this game in South Bend is the most intriguing one of week 3 to me.
My thing with this game is I just don't know who either team is, right? And last year coming into the game, I thought I knew who A&M was. And I thought, Notre Dame doesn't have this offensive line that they've had in years past. That turned out to not be the case. Those young players played fantastic. This year, I'm like, I think I know what A&M is. I think. But I've seen it against lesser opponents. And I think they can beat Notre Dame. But Notre Dame didn't really run the ball very much. So how's that going to translate? And is A&M's defense up for that challenge?
No, 100%. And I think, again, listen, I think there are certain teams you can – I think you can make sweeping judgments on certain teams, but I don't think these are two of them. I'll just give you an example, like Tennessee. I think they're gonna be able to move the football against anybody because I trust Josh Heupel, and they've always run the ball under him. And so that's a team that are they 9-3? Are they 10-2? Are they 8-4? We'll find out the win-loss record, but I kind of feel like I know who they are. I just don't feel like I know either of these teams, and I think it's more with Notre Dame. Like I said. Was it just a weird play calling game? Do they believe something in that building that hasn't gotten out about, to your point, last year we questioned the O-line. Well, maybe this year was the year where there's actual regression, or was it just a bad game? Maybe Miami jumped out on you a little bit earlier than anticipated. You got a little, too aggressive with your play calling, didn't stick with the run long enough. I don't know. But again, those are things that we're going to, I think, start to learn this weekend. And I'll just say this really quickly is I think it's just a fascinating game, too, from a, both teams kind of need it perspective. I mean, Notre Dame loses this game. You look at their resume, it's hard to say definitively that 10-2, if they were to lose this game, would be enough to get them into the playoff. I know it's silly to talk about playoff standings and all that right now, but, they kind of need this one. And then from A&M's perspective, we know how tough the SEC is. It feels like it's getting tougher week by week because there's teams, that are better than we anticipated. But then also, you just go down the list of it's kind of a revenge game for A&M after last year started the way that it did. So I'm fascinated by this, but I just tend to agree with you. I think we're going to learn a lot about both teams. I think it's okay to have opinions. I don't think anything is set in stone, but I think a lot more will be set in stone by the time this game wraps up on Sunday.
AT, if Joey Aguilar is one of the best stories in college football, and I think he is so far, we'll find out how that translates this weekend. South Florida's got to be in that same conversation, right?
Yeah, I mean, listen, and it's tough. I mean, we're in the business of talking about what interests people. And the South Florida win was great, but I think anybody that's not a diehard South Florida fan, you're going to default to the Florida conversation because that's part of it. So I think we can have concurrent conversations about this is awesome for South Florida. Do they have the inside track to the G5 spot in the college football playoff? What does it mean, by the way, this week for Miami? What is Alex Golish's future? Is he the hottest kind of group of five kind of coaching candidate in a year where I think we're going to have some turnover at some of these SEC schools? But you also can't not talk about, the Billy Napier aspect of it, which is, and everybody knows it by now, we felt like he coached himself off the hot seat starting ironically last year with the LSU game. And it was kind of, listen, David, I saw you comment on my post. It was quite literally one of the most embarrassing final minute coaching performances that I've ever seen. And you know me well enough to know I'm not the guy that sits on the couch and thinks I have all the answers that the guys that have been doing this for 30 years do. But it was just basic fundamental stuff. And, it's funny because I think sometimes, whether it's on the national level or maybe for you guys, a team that you're not around as much, I think, we all kind of look at, why does everyone hate Billy Napier? It's year 3. Now it's year 4. But, a year ago it's year 3, da-da-da-da. And then it's like, oh, those are the things that Florida fans have been complaining about since, like, the middle of year 1. The play calling, the clock management. And I think it all came to fruition last week. So I very simply bring it up to say we could celebrate USF while also acknowledging that was a disastrous loss for Florida. And then really quickly, the Aguilar conversation is fascinating. I don't know how much time we have. We can continue that conversation. But, I think by the end of Saturday, he could be a breakout star in college football if things go as planned for Tennessee on Saturday in Knoxville.
AT, got to drop it there. Got a bunch of guests coming up. Thanks so much for your time, buddy. We'll talk to you next week.
No.
Don't be sad.
Busy time of year, fun time. Appreciate you. Talk next week.
All right, buddy. AT. He was sad. I broke his heart. But we got freaking Jim Turner. We got freaking Gerrod Chadwell. We got the freaking fan. Okay, we could have kept AT a little bit longer. Fan show's coming. So, anyway, let's talk Heritage Films. When it comes to preserving your farm or ranch's legacy, it's not about just capturing pretty pictures and posting them on Facebook and having like your grandma tell you, look at these Facebook memories. Grandmas love Facebook memories, and so do dads like me. Anyway, Chance McClain does these documentaries that are freaking fantastic, and they do it about family businesses, family ranches, and just families in general. Your dad needs a documentary. Your grandpa needs one. Everybody in your family needs to have their story told because you are not promised tomorrow. Hello, look at what's happened in the world in the last 24 hours. I really think you need to consider a heritage film for your family so you can keep that story and have it done in a Netflix-style documentary. This is for everyday folks, right? And Chance will do it, and he's going to tell the story. You're going to love it. 8 to 10 weeks after he comes and shoots it and does the interview, you're going to be blown away by the actual video. It is Heritage Films. You can check out the website at yourheritagefilm.com. That is yourheritagefilm.com. Call them up, 713-893-8341. That's 713-893-8341. It is Heritage Films. All right, we're talking about Burlebo, the heart of Texas, more than an outdoor lifestyle brand. It's products created with you in mind. Currently, I'm wearing the performance polo, the Texas Maroon and Gray. If you look into it, you've got the state of Texas in gray, and you also got it in maroon. It's one of their highest, most popular sales that they have there. It is really nice. Comfort and versatility. You can wear it in any situation. Quick drying, fits the size. But Burlebo, they're rooted in tradition, fueled by passion for the outdoors. Designs high-quality apparel that works just as hard as you do. So whether you're hitting a workout, enjoying a day of fishing, or cheering on your favorite college team, their gear is made for the athlete, the outdoorsman, and the everyday adventure. And it's really nice. I wore this one to church the other day. People talked about it. Really, my kids were like, "Yeah, Dad, you look pretty good today." From athletic shorts to your favorite go-to tees and performance hoodies, they have everything you want. Check out burlebo.com and find your new favorite gear. It's Burlebo for the athlete, for the outdoors, and for the family. All right, friends, school's in session with Jim Turner here in studio, brought to you by Paragon Financial Advisors. Aggie-owned Paragon Financial Advisors. If you want financial guidance that truly puts you first, visit paragon-adv.com. Coach Turner, what's up?
Glad to be here, man. Looking forward to this game.
Yes, sir. So I guess first thoughts, what have you seen from the offensive line in 8 quarters that gives you optimism or maybe not so much optimism?
Yeah, I think it's optimism. I think that as you watch them, right, just like in any season, right, when you start the season, obviously it's going to be difficult to get the thing off the ground, especially with the 5 guys up front. I know it's my position. Of course, I'm going to defend it, but it's probably the toughest position on the field to coach because you just don't have 1 or 2 players. You have 5 of them, right? And they all have to be together. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm not taking anything away from the defensive line, but you can have 1 great defensive lineman and the other 3 can be mediocre, and that guy can make every play, and he's in the backfield just making plays, right? Whereas on offense, you can have 4 great offensive linemen and you can have 1 bad one, and you're in deep trouble. And because he's going to obviously be exploited, and that D lineman obviously is going to be making plays, the guy playing over him. I don't think they have that at A&M. I think they have 5 good players. He's done a great job at rotating the 1s and the 2s through there, which you should do in these games. If I compared our offensive line to their offensive line, our situation to their situation, I would rather be in their situation. I think you know more about Notre Dame right now, even though they did have a bye week and everybody's squawking about that. I don't think that bothers them. I think it's actually good for them, because they were tested by a great team. It was a great football game. I think they know a lot more about themselves. I think Notre Dame knows a lot more about Notre Dame than we know about A&M. So, to answer your question, I mean, I think they've done well. I don't think they've done as well as you'd like to see early. I listen to you talk, and I listen to Billy and everybody on the radio. And, nobody's said in their ways that, hey, we're off and running. Everybody's got questions. And that's always the way it is. I understand that. And that's what makes it interesting. But how they perform on Saturday night, they're going to play against a good defensive line from Miami, really good defensive line, I think. Now, having said that, do I think that Notre Dame did a great job in the game against Miami, game planning it and all that? I don't think they did. And I don't throw criticism out lightly, but I don't think they did. I think if they could do it over again, they would have ran the ball a lot more. Like statistically, they had 3.3 yards. They had 3.3 yards a rush. And their tailback, they didn't give him the ball. He had 6 rushes for 45 yards. So you're talking about 6 yards a carry. And I think if they could have done it over again, I think if you run the ball more in that game, I think you win that game against Miami. Because, the other big thing for them against Miami was they turned the ball over twice. Miami didn't turn the ball over at all. That's a huge part of that football game. So I don't think if they don't turn the ball over, then, of course, the game will be different. And I think that they would probably regret that right now, considering the weapon they have in the backfield. So I think Notre Dame's going to come in and try and run the football.
Yeah.
And I think looking at our defense, and this is no shot at anybody, they just haven't done great stopping the run against 2 teams that aren't in the same conversation as the 2 teams that are going to play on Saturday night. So I think they're going to try and run the football. And obviously, with their feature back, they had success against Miami. They just didn't do it. Why? I don't know. To continue with the run game, I mean, both quarterbacks can run. Notre Dame's quarterback isn't necessarily a read-run quarterback like the guy last year, but he's a good runner, and they run him his way, right? He's a tough guy. And so, like, you'll see him in the last game, he ran 3, 4, 5 draws, and every one of them was downhill. One of them was for a touchdown, and he stuck his nose in there. He doesn't slide. He sticks his nose in there. So he's a likable kid that way. And at the same time, I think our quarterback's a heck of a runner as well. So I think it's going to come down to running the football in this game. And that's not just because I'm a line coach. I just think that it comes down to that in this game. You've got to be able to run the football. You can't put it all on our quarterback. They can't put it all on their QB. You got to be able to run the ball.
So how vulnerable do you think I mean, I know you feel like you know more about their offensive line than ours right now, but how vulnerable can they be considering Miami was able to put pressure on C.J. Carr?
Oh, yeah. No, like at their tackle position, they struggled, especially late in the game. So late in the football game, right, every team, they have their closers on defense, and that's what they did. They put their closers in there on defense. Number 5 and number 27 are their defensive ends. They're rush defensive ends. And those guys were able to get to the passer late. They had a pressure and a sack on that last drive to shut Notre Dame down. And they're a problem. Like they ran right around the Notre Dame's left tackle for one of the sacks, which to me was really telling, at that point in the game. Everybody knows you're throwing the ball. I know that. At the same time, he should be able to fit that player. I understand there's going to be battles and all that, but he got beat pretty clean. And both of those defensive ends are really good pass rushers. They work up the field, and they try to under-rush you late. So they work you beyond the quarterback's level, and then they come back underneath. Both of them do that. They're good pass rushers. They'll challenge us. It'll be a good football game, but you don't want to throw the ball. You don't want to drop back and throw the ball 25 times. You just don't see that being the what's going to win the football game.
So do you think I know it's important to limit their big plays, right? But how important is it going to be to not only limit their plays, but to put them in third and long and make C.J. Carr have to make some plays with his arms?
Yeah. I think that's it. That's the game to me, And if you look like when they played Miami, Miami had the ball for 33 minutes. Miami ran the ball, I think, 10 or 12 times more than Notre Dame ran the ball. And just handing that ball off makes a difference. You know what I'm saying? And like even a team like Notre Dame, like those defensive ends, they're not great run stoppers either because they're smaller. And so to me, right, just running the ball just beats the ever-living snot out of those defensive ends. And so when you're playing teams like that, right, it's one of the things that you want to do. You want to attack the defensive ends, attack the smaller players, beat the hell out of them, okay, and so slow that pass rush down later in the game. If you put out a poll and you ask the defensive line, hey, would you rather play a team that's going to run the ball 50 times or throw the ball 50 times? Every single one of them in the world would say throw the ball 50 times because he wants to get 3 or 4 sacks, right?
Right.
The glory and all that stuff, right? So, so that being said, I don't want to be in a position where we have to throw the football. If you just run that ball and possess that ball, don't turn it over. Okay, possess it, don't turn it over. You have a good shot at winning this game.
Coach Turner, do you think A&M is better this year than they were last year? Everybody, welcome to the show. Oh, fail. We're back here on TexAgs Live. I want to tell you guys quickly about Paragon Financial Advisors. When it comes to your money and your peace of mind, it starts with the right team, and Aggie-owned Paragon Financial Advisors will take care of you, serving clients across Texas. No commissions, no sales pitches, just trusted advice tailored to you. 18 professionals, including over 9 CFPs, a CFA, and a CPA, expertise that runs deep at Paragon, where credentials matter, and so does your future. Visit paragon-adv.com or call them up 979-693-3907 to schedule your free consultation today. It's Paragon Financial Advisors, integrity, expertise, and trust. Gerrod Chadwell is in studio, and I was telling you at the break, you guys are playing pretty good.
We are. We're playing good golf right now. This was a little different fashion this week because we had to come from behind on the final round. So it was just, that's what you love seeing with your team. Just no matter whether it's with the lead or from behind, that you can count on them when all the chips are on the table.
So I have this note. Tell me if this is true.
Yep.
It's the first time in program history that A&M has won the first 2 tournaments to start off a season.
Since I've been here.
Wow.
But yeah, that's, there's a lot of preseason hype. And, I think that's due in large part of the young ladies that played a lot of golf this summer that are on the roster. And it's just good for them to go back that up.
Yeah. It's, and you, I think, were tested this past week, right?
Yeah.
Like you had to play comeback on the final round.
Yeah. And, your preseason stuff, I was talking, the Baylor coach is a good friend. And he was a little frustrated based on their ranking for preseason, but it's just, it's preseason. But they're a really good team. And, we'll see a lot of them throughout the year. And that was just their first event of the year. I would say we were fortunate to have one under our belt. So that's probably why maybe we were more comfortable in that moment yesterday. But, Baylor's a really good team. And that golf course was really hard, really challenging. You had cameras around everywhere. So, that can only bode well from us as we go forward through the year.
Does it, so early that I don't want to throw this out there, but does it feel different than last year right now at this point?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. The difference from this time this year and last year, like we just graduated 3 of the best players in program history, and that's a lot of reps. So, we were very young from college golf wise last year. And then you had Adela struggling with, going through the stages of Q school. And so it wasn't like this kind of cloud going over us, but it was a lot of noise. And just, this year our challenge is we've got a lot of depth. And this, I said it from the day one, this lineup is going to change consistently. And, in the most humblest way, like our at home is just going to be just as hard as a tournament to make the lineup. So, hopefully we have the maturity to understand that and realize that we're getting better each day. But that's going to be our challenge, is mainly just within our own 4 walls.
How much does this summer play a role in the early success? The fact that, I think you all left last season unfulfilled.
Yep. And
people went to work.
Yeah. Sky Sudbury being one of them. Sky stayed here most of the summer, was in the gym a lot, practicing a lot, playing a lot. And I think you've seen that in her first 2 weeks out. For somebody who, has played enough for us, but maybe just hasn't had the success individually. But, we had 6 young ladies at the U.S. Women's Amateur. So I think, that's an accomplishment in itself. So, that's 3 months that you either choose to get better in that time or somebody's going to get better than you. So I'm thankful for that they're continuing to compete and push forward for themselves. And that only bodes well from the team.
What can you tell me about Bryn and what Bryn was able to do?
Just a bulldog, man. She's gritty. Bryn hits it very straight. She might not be the longest person, but she's very, I think her wedge game is very, very underrated. Just how much pressure she puts on the golf course. So, she looked very comfortable this week. The middle round was super impressive because she got off to a pretty bad start and then wound up, might even be in the low score for the team that day with a really good back 9 that saved us because our back 9 wasn't very good on that day too. But, man, she's going to play a lot of golf for us. And, her performance this week really carried us.
What's ahead? Because you get a little bit of a break, right?
We got 3.5 weeks. So we'll start to, it's been such a whirlwind. We have 5 new faces on campus and all we've been doing is playing golf. So we haven't had much time to practice, slow down, enjoy being a student athlete. So it's going to be nice for that 3.5 weeks just to take care of us, be home, slow things down a little bit. We'll have some official visits in that time. And it's just going to be nice to soak in really what the program has accomplished these first 2 weeks, because we don't really get to catch our breath and take the time to do that.
You can't catch your breath, and it's only going to get harder, right?
It's only going to get harder. And we have, like, we kind of have this gap, and then we'll have a final fall season push where we play 3 events kind of almost every other week. And then, we get the off season to get better, rest up. It's kind of the one time that the young ladies can take a break. And then our spring schedule is really stout. So apply what we've learned this fall and get ready to go through spring when it gets here.
Probably not a fair question to ask, but do you still think maybe your best golf is ahead of you, though? I mean,
sure.
I know you've won, but
For sure. I shared this before it came on, and it's no disrespect to what the young ladies have accomplished the first 2 weeks. We don't know who our best 5 is.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm still excited for that journey. That normally sorts itself out in March. But we've got today, to get better. And that's what, you want to reel things back into the present. And that's what we're trying to do. But first and foremost, man, just really enjoying this, because it's winning a golf tournament's very hard. A lot of our sports, it's just head to head. But
Right.
we beat 11 other teams this week. Normal wins beating 14 other teams. So really trying to take a minute and really enjoy what we've done.
You ready for football this weekend, too?
Yes. Ready for a couple weeks of football,
Yeah.
man. I'm a fan. So taking my daughter to school this morning, we're going through her cookbook, what she wants to cook on Saturday. So we're going to have a good dad-daughter day on Saturday.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming by, brother.
You got it, brother.
Good seeing you. Gig 'em. All right, we'll hit a break. We'll come back with a fan show, guys. We're talking Buppies again, Buppies Catering and Bartending. They've been taking care of us here at TexAgs. They've been catering for us. They can be your office, tailgate, your wedding, you name it, your holiday party. Let Buppies be the MVP of your next event. They've been around for 35 years, catering generations of families. And the bartending part of their business is awesome. They have a mobile bar. They can set up anywhere, like a football tailgate. Pretty soon the holidays will be here. And they have the bar bundle discount as well. Buppies Catering and Bartending can just about do anything. They are amazing professionals and awesome staff. They'll take care of you for home games. Contact them today, 979-779-6417, or go online to Buppies.com. That is Buppies.com, 979-779-6417 is Buppies Catering and Bartending. All right, we're back. God bless. Oh, we're on. Okay. Good goodness. Today's been one of those days, right?
Yeah.
It's casual Thursday. I'm wearing a T-shirt. My mind's not in the right place. Our show didn't start off on TV. It's one of those days. But ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the Fan Show, presented by Prize Picks. They are the largest independently owned daily fantasy sports platform in North America. They're the easiest and most exciting way to play DFS. It's you against the numbers instead of battling thousands of players, including the pros and the sharks. You pick more than or less than 2 to 6 players, stat projections, and watch the winnings roll. Go to prizepicks.com/TexAgs. Use the code TexAgs. All right, let's get started. Matt Browning, hello, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning. Hunter Shurtleff, hello.
Howdy.
Howdy. Roy May, hello.
How are you this morning, David?
I think we're all kind of in the same place. We're ready for some football. A little upset about what happened in the world, but I think we're ready to.
Yeah, I was thinking about that this morning. Just make a quick comment about it. But it was hard. You think to yourself, how do you you're geared up for football all week. We're excited, and then something like this happens, and it's hard to get your mind back to it. But I think it's important that this is what's so great about sports is that it's an escape. I mean, we've all been watching the coverage. Everyone can keep an eye on it. This is a quick escape. This is something to go back to the beauty of life and the things that we look forward to. So. It's hard to gear back up towards football, but I'm glad we're able to do so.
Well, unless we forget today's Patriot Day. It's the 24th anniversary of 9/11.
That's right.
So that's it's a day in my life.
And if we look back, sports helps us heal, right? Think of the patriotism that evolved from the 9/11 event 24 years ago.
You're on
right
campus.
through the Yankees games, through the Aggie games, whatever it was. That was a major focus of bringing this country back together.
Yeah, George Bush throwing out the first pitch at Yankee Stadium. That's an iconic moment in sports.
Hey, strike. This is a dead strike. It was awesome.
And he threw a strike. Absolutely.
Let's go to the Angry Elephant News and Social Center. Alex Schoonover. Alex, I'm going to let you ask the folks. We kind of already talked about a little bit what's on our mind, but let's kind of make it a little bit more formal.
Okay. Let's start off with Matt. I'm going to say, what is your biggest concern for this matchup against the Irish?
Oh,
whoa,
we actually asked the right question.
Whoa, what is going on?
We changed up the play.
At first, I was like, man, he's going with Matt, and then he asked a question. I was like, I'm glad Matt got the question.
Yeah, like I thought he was going to ask what's on your mind.
Yeah, what's on my mind?
That's generally how we
That's how Bill Belichick.
Here on the big show.
Okay.
Holy smokes, we're here with the offensive coordinator.
Press conference.
Matt Browning.
I mean, we just had Coach Turner, and now everyone gets to hear my opinion of things. I mean, no one cares what I have to say about that.
Might be a small drop-off between those two expertise levels.
What's my biggest concern about the game? First and foremost, hey, appreciate you. We got a studio audience member.
Yes, we
my
do.
Father, Terry Browning, class of 72. Gets to
Browning.
sit in and listen to us today, which is kind of cool. So
He's already been more involved than 3 college kids were last week.
That's right. So my biggest concern is I think fairly obvious. I think it's the question marks and lack of success that we've had on the road. I think that's kind of the biggest thing that this is a turning of the tide kind of thing. If you can go in there and win this game, you've turned the tide, that type of thing. You can turn
The turning point.
Turning point, yeah. Oh, that's good. I like that.
Well done.
Yeah, it's a way to flip the script a little bit on the narrative that what we've come to expect.
It's a narrative we've written, though.
Yeah.
It is, exactly. And I think this one's important, and I tell you the reason why I think this one's so important is if you really look at this game versus the rest of the schedule. I mean, our ultimate goal is to make the playoff. I mean, I know we're not going to go unscathed through the season. I don't think any team will, but the narrative is ultimate goal is to get to the playoff. This game, if we look at solely eye test, now granted, I'm going to admit I know Notre Dame had played a tough opponent their first week, but they did look beatable, right? They do look beatable, where there are teams on our schedule that we thought were going to be maybe easy wins that are now looking much more difficult.
Yep.
So we've got a tough road to hoe going down the road. So this is an important game to go in. If we can go in there and pull out a win on the road, we change the narrative, number one, of we can't win on the road. We build some momentum and become a force moving going down the road. So I think that's important, but I think it's really just getting that monkey off our back that, hey, we can get on a plane, fly somewhere, and beat someone on their home field.
Thank you, Coach Browning.
Mm-hmm.
Coach Shurtleff. Oh, sorry, Coach.
You know what, David, I got you. I want to hook you up in the Angry Elephant Social Center. Hey, Hunter, what's on your mind?
Well, I'll go on that theme. So what's on my mind and what I'm most concerned about is matching explosive plays. I don't think we're going to – I think Notre Dame's going to have them, right? I love their two running backs. I think Carr's – he's got an arm that can hurt you. But I think that is different about this team. I'm optimistic about the offense. I love how Coach Klein's calling the games. I think he's a great offense coordinator, and I think that side of the ball is maybe can help you. And I mean, I'm going to give Elko some credit. He turned that last year, right? We went to Florida and won. We went to Mississippi State and won. So he has a plan. He knows what to do. We had some bumps, right, at South Carolina and Auburn, but we were blown out second half at South Carolina. But that Auburn game down 21-0, they come back. So most of this team, most of them have been there, right? And they know what it's going to take. But even the new guys, they may be new to our team. Casey Concepcion, this is his third year of college football, right? Mario Craver went on the road all over the SEC last year. So I'm confident.
The moment's not too big for these guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, not at all.
Coach May, what's on your mind? And also, what's your biggest concern?
Coach May. We'll do both, right? Hey, I'll be honest. What's on my mind? It's 9/11. It's just it's an important day to me. My biggest concern, and I think it's probably been parroted plenty of times, is it kind of feeds into the explosive play thing. It's just the explosive run defense, or the run defense against however you want to say that. Like the run defense not giving up explosive plays, right? Because I feel a lot more confident in our secondary, in pass coverage than I do from front to back, secondary all the way up to the defensive line on explosive plays. And I'm sure it's been addressed, and I know they're working on it. It's Jeremiah Love. Like that, and what's the other guy's name?
Price.
That's easily one of the best running back rooms or running back duos in the nation. They are. They're dynamite. And I mean, if you can hold them to, probably 170 yards rushing as a team, you probably feel good about it. Like their quarterback, I like him. I watched him against Miami. I think he's gutsy, but he's no Riley Leonard. He's just not. He might turn out to be, but I think he's still a little bit in that kind of fresh quarterback, new, get a little happy feet. Don't go through. We saw this with Marcelo last year. Mm-hmm. The reads aren't there. Go. Just run. And so I think that plays into our favor. Obviously, having an experienced quarterback that has only played one game under center, and I mean he played well. I thought that was a game-tying drive that he took them down against Miami. That was a gutsy drive, man. That was a good drive by what's a good quarterback, but he still kind of has to prove it to me to be the replacement for Riley Leonard, right? Like his successor with that kind of success and ability. And so for me, it's just the thing that concerns me is giving up the big run play because it's such a momentum killer too.
It is.
And on the road, ugh.
So I think Carr. I think the difference is, right, Riley Leonard's a big cat, right? And you hit him in the legs, you're going to bounce off. I think Carr you can get him down easier, but I thought he got the ball out of his hands pretty quick last year. They doing a lot of the perimeter game that seems like everybody's doing it, like when you watch football right now. The quick passes. Quick. Yeah, he's accurate. So it's going to be a test. But, yeah, he's not Riley Leonard as far as a handful of getting him down.
Well, there's the big debate of would you rather have the bye week or rather play a second game? With a new quarterback, I rather would have played another game. Certainly. So for Notre Dame, that kid has one game in his pocket.
Yeah. I'm going to ask you guys a question that I asked OB to start the show, and I'll give you my answer after if you didn't hear it. Are you more confident this week heading into Notre Dame than you were last year hosting Notre Dame, or less confident? Roy, you start us off.
I'm actually probably less confident, but because last year I think it was false confidence.
Mm-hmm.
So realistically, I'm probably more confident because I have a quarterback that I know, I've seen and trusted, tried and true. I've seen him on the road. I've seen him play big SEC games. South Bend is not going to be some sort of cathedral that he's never seen. He's played in the SEC on the road. He's been to the Swamp. In and of itself, that's a more intimidating atmosphere to me than Notre Dame. Notre Dame is historically beautiful, and it is what it is, but going to the Swamp's a little different. There's a bunch of drunk Floridians and jorts.
You have jorts?
No. I answer truthfully.
I do not have any jorts. I promise.
1,000%. Zero jorts in my wardrobe.
Anymore.
Ever.
But I think if I were to if I were to go back and realistically look at my confidence I had last year, I'm probably more confident because I have a product that I know and trust. Whereas last year I was just sunshine pumping. I'll call it. I'm cool with that.
Yeah, and we didn't know. We had a new coach and a new regime and a new coordinators on both sides of the ball last year. And there was some confidence as far as our D-line and who we had showing up. But I think I don't remember last year. My confidence level, to tell you the truth, pretty confident in our offense, though, right now.
I was more confident last year, and here's my reasons why. I believe Connor Wigman was going to be a top 5 quarterback.
Certainly. I was on that bandwagon.
And we were home.
And I don't know why it didn't happen, because I still think I was right in my thinking heading into that season. Didn't work out. So there's that. I also thought incorrectly that Notre Dame's offensive line, they're no match for these fools, right? Like, because
bad call.
They were 4 out of 5 new starters. They hadn't played. Charles Jagusah wasn't going to be. Like, I was like, oh, there's no doubt that this pass rush is going to get after them. So I was wrong. That's why. This year, I have more confidence in I think I have more confidence in the offense. But I don't have confidence on going on the road because this team struggles going on the road. And that's just who they are right now until they're not. So I'm kind of in a point where I'm less confident than I was a year ago, and that doesn't mean I don't think they can or shouldn't win the game.
Yeah, it's interesting because I've been kind of keeping up, kind of on the national narrative, and they seem more confident in A&M winning than most Aggie fans that I talk to.
Well, I just watched CBS Sports' football show with Brian Jones and all Howard Cross. Every one of them, every single one of them picked Notre Dame to win.
Yeah, I see Peter Burns go.
Yeah, Peter Burns thinks.
He think so. J.D. Pickett picked us.
Yeah,
you got
Jake Crane picked us as well.
Both the Crane brothers picked us. And the other Crane brother never picks us.
The Craniacs?
He hates us. So
Craniacs.
then what's that? SEC 16,
Mike?
No, SEC 16 or whatever they are.
Oh yeah, they're good. Yeah,
all 3 of those guys picked us, and so it's
so
funny.
if you have SEC by your name, you're picking us.
I guess, but
I listen to a lot of podcasts. I'm like, I don't know what you guys are talking about.
I don't have time. What are you talking about?
Mr.
So
Brownie.
but it has seemed like a lot more. I mean, when we talk to people, they're like, I don't know about this one. But I think it boils down to like the holes that we've seen thus far against lesser competition is what's scary. I think that's the fact that they've been able to run so well, and now we're going up against a much more talented, better team on the road. But if you can clean up, if you can clean up the run game, stopping the run, then we should be able to win this ball game.
All right, so let's have some fun. What have we liked so far? Give everybody's list.
Yeah.
Hunter, you start us off. What have you liked so far? And then we're going to talk about what we haven't liked. But let's be happy for a minute.
I mean, I've liked Marcel. I mean, I think it starts with number 10 and right, he's kind of like casually run the ball, but he hadn't been a focus of our run game. And McGee pointed it out a couple times in his film breakdown. But I mean, he has not been a focus on the run game, although he kept a few last week, and he had a few scrambles. I think he's figured it out, and I think his legs can be a big key and more of a focus this week at the run game.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, I think it's the receiving core.
Yeah,
there was a big question mark coming into it, and when you've got. We keep talking about Craver and Concepcion, but
ABR.
Bigsby, yeah. Bussy. My gosh, my brain went blank. And then the tight end, the tight ends have played a really big role. I mean, you've got from Thor to Nyblack having some big catches in there. You've got to account for. I know they've got 2 really good corners, but we've got a receiving core that is pretty darn good.
Yeah,
one of the better ones we've had in a while, at least through these first 2 games. And so that, along with Marcel's progression and the fact that Marcel looks a lot better, that's the stuff that's the stuff I'm seeing that is that in our secondary. Now again, we haven't played any teams that have really thrown the ball yet, but our secondary has done their job.
Well, UTSA can throw.
Yeah,
they chose not to. Did they choose not to because of that awesome secondary? Potentially.
I hope so.
Roy, what have you liked?
Well, I guess I'll have to pick something different, right?
I have to.
Well, I'm with you. Part of me thinks, and this is like conspiracy theory ag, right? Part of me thinks that these first 2 games, Marcel didn't run because there was such a hyper focus and looking him in the eye and saying, you are going to throw the ball. Don't leave the pocket. I want you to go through your progressions. And what I've seen from Marcel, I've loved. And like you said, he really hasn't run much. And we know that dude can scoot, right? Yeah. And so I think that could be an X factor heading into South Bend, is they've watched 2 games of us, him standing in the pocket.
But they're certainly aware, because they watched games last year, right? Like, they know he can run.
They know he can, but maybe they're thinking, hey, Colin Klein's changed up the offense a little bit.
We say that, and he's our leading rusher right now. I mean, he quietly had 66 yards on the ground last week, and a few of those were no gains or short gains.
I'll tell you something I didn't like. The late hit he took.
Well, yeah.
That was a late hit, in my opinion.
It was.
Late-ish.
I have watched that over and over. I mean, the ball was kind of coming out. The guy landed on him. I thought it was simultaneous. It was
close.
just certainly unfortunate, yeah.
Now, the thing I will say, though, is the return game across the board. Being able to flip the field is so important, and I feel like for whatever reason, we just haven't really been able to do that in the last few years. And to see the punt return and even the kick return game, because when you play lesser schools, they have lesser kickers, and these guys can't blast it out of the end zone. You actually get to return the kick. So I think both the punt and the kick return games are important to establish good field position, and specifically to the punt return game, to be able to either flip the field or even take it to the house. And so having like what is now feels like a true threat in the return game, special teams are special for a reason, man. Like, they can literally change games, and the return game is where you do it. And you want to shut up a lot of people in South Bend, take a punt to the house. You'll be able to, you're a pin drop, man.
All right, so quickly, before we hit a break, everybody give me one thing that they don't like so far.
Run D.
Run D. But I can make an argument. After the first play of the third quarter, they've been pretty darn good on the run game.
Yeah.
Against UTSA.
First play of the third quarter for both games.
You don't have to bring that up.
Yeah.
Because we're consistent.
If you didn't, I was going to.
I think they got 30. I think they got
did
30 yards.
But they rushed for how many yards against us? Like, it was like 80
we did shut it down, and so we show. Granted, you're correct. I think we showed the ability that we can stop the run if we focus on stopping the run. So.
Browning just said, I mean, you're right, but
he's right. I mean, we have not been good at stopping the run except for the second half of both of those games. We let both teams run more than we're all comfortable with.
Right. And so I'll go not like. I mean, I Lee peeking inside and getting beat. It seems he's given up some plays every game. I mean, our pass defense is good, and I know he's risky, and that's just kind of the way defensive backs play. I thought that was a total BS penalty that they called on him last week. But I mean, if I had to say it, between like O-line really not showing what they are yet, and then maybe some DBs giving.
Yeah. Love it when that happens.
Go ahead.
I don't like when Hunter steals my crap.
That's weird. Why would you steal crap?
I don't know. Ask him.
Sorry, Happy Gilbert.
He's a poop thief. No, my thought is, honestly, it's the offensive line not performing to the level that I expected them to yet. But I say yet because I still believe they absolutely can. It's just, against 2 lesser opponents, they haven't pushed them around like I thought they should have.
Marcel's been sacked once, though, right? Like
I'm hoping we've been vanilla and are not showing what.
Some of it may just be scheme and just straight up one-on-ones, but it's just it's not the sacks, it's the running game. Like, you need to be creating holes against Utah State.
Yeah. All right, we'll hit a break, and when we come back, what do we got, guys? I don't even know. I don't know if I forget sometimes.
So organized.
Yeah, we'll talk a little Cassius Howell because we haven't talked Cassius Howell.
Yeah. Well, you are older now, so. Happy birthday, buddy.
Yeah, happy belated birthday.
Appreciate that.
Yeah.
I'm getting closer. All right, a moment for Caldwell Country Chevrolet, Highway 21 in Caldwell, online, CaldwellCountryChevrolet.com. If you're looking for a selection that's not going to break the bank, check out Caldwell Country Chevrolet. They have great deals all the time. You go on their website, you're going to love what you see there. Their inventory is growing daily, and they're south of those big city prices with no dealer add-ons. What you see is what you pay for. They're locally owned. They got an Aggie alumni team that's going to roll out the red carpet for you. And every vehicle that you purchase from Caldwell Country Chevrolet is going to come with that complimentary pickup and delivery for you, and also free oil change for life. And their pre-owned inventory is moving fast. You'll get top dollar for that trade-in value, so make sure you jump on that as well. It's about a 15-minute drive. The edge of Bryan to the beginnings of Caldwell. Short conversation away, but you'll see the difference when you step on the lot and do business with the great people at Caldwell Country Chevrolet. Highway 21 in Caldwell. Online, CaldwellCountryChevrolet.com.
Hey friends, David Nuño here for Prize Picks. They're back on TexAgs, prizepicks.com/TexAgs. Use the code TexAgs to get $50 once you play in $5 lineups. And Prize Picks is the best place to win cash while watching sports. Football season's here, basketball coming up, baseball, you name it. You go to prizepicks.com/TexAgs and start having some fun watching sports, making some money on there. And you can play Prize Picks in over 40 states, including California and Texas. Remember, they'll give you $50 in lineups once you play $5 lineups on Prize Picks. And they have the new thing. It's called It's Good to Be Right campaign, and they're kicking off the upcoming NFL season with their bold new campaign, It's Good to Be Right. The seasonal long push celebrates the thrills of getting it right, from the perfect prediction to winning your Prize Picks lineups. Prize Picks is good to be right.
Did you say Joveralls?
I'm workshopping something here because I'm going to
Explain
give
the visual.
So I'm going to take one of my pair of Yell Leader overalls and I'm going to cut them off into jorts and give them to Browning so he can wear them up in South Bend.
Joveralls.
I think Joveralls. It's like jorts and overalls. Hey, we're going to go with that.
No.
Can somebody AI a vision or a picture of that?
Don't put that out there.
Yes, Matt
Browning face.
Matt Browning in cut off overalls. Oh man, I am here for that.
Hey, by the way, it's the fan
Now
show.
that picture's going to exist.
Obviously, it's the fan show. We're not talking about anything relevant.
Well, this is no, Coach Browning over here. Brought to you by Prize Picks. All right, friends. Cassius Howell. What we saw last week, what we've seen really for the last half of last season, what he did in the bowl game, what he's done so far. Yeah, okay, Roy, take over.
I would just like to say last week, you said, what would you like to see? And I said, I need to see Cassius Howell get off the schneid. And I think back-to-back sacks pretty much is that. That was, I mean, it was almost laughable. When he did it the third time, I literally, I laughed, LOL'd. I laughed out loud. I was like, are you kidding me, dude? 3 in a row? That left tackle just got shoved into a locker, basically.
I've never seen that before.
I've never.
No.
Yeah.
I know that people have looked to see if that's ever happened.
It has happened.
Well, it was
modern football.
What was cool, it was 3 different techniques. There was one you just pushed through him.
Bold.
Right?
Yeah.
And then he moved inside. And then the third one, he just ran around him.
I think that's the beauty of it, right? He put it all on display. I can do this, I can do that, and I can also do this.
You think this is coming, and then the next day, Myles Garrett goes back-to-back too. So.
And by the way, that third one, horrible spot by the ref.
Green
Should have
line.
been on the 1.5, 2. They put it on the 4.
So we feel better about the pass rush?
Yes.
Yes.
Pass rush, I feel much better about.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, because you have multiple guys that can do it, and they've been getting close, and they're getting in there.
Yeah, it's not just him. Yeah, I mean,
And you got to think Elko's got some stuff dialed up that nobody's seen. He's got some his creative third down stuff.
Do some creative blitzing and bring guys from other
Stunting
places
and-
and all
yeah.
that. So, I mean, if you're again, I think like you said, this quick passing game that most offenses are going to, sacks are, will be lesser than they were in the past. You don't have, a Troy Aikman dropping back in an 8-step drop and standing there. That doesn't happen nowadays. But if you can get pressure and get them off their spots, then I mean that's how you.
And Miami had success on the ends, and they may have better ends than we do. I don't know, but certainly they had their way with the Notre Dame tackles.
Well, yeah, a little
2
bit.
weeks ago.
It was really only one side, though, wasn't it?
No, they had 3 sacks on him, I believe it was. One of their dudes, had a sack and a half. Another guy had a sack, and then somebody got credit
I
for a
can't
sack.
remember. I think we were talking, or y'all were talking about it. Yeah, I'm part of TexAgs. We'll call it we.
Yeah,
earlier in the week, I think it was either the right tackle or the left tackle, but he just kind of got abused in the game. One of them stood up to the test, and one of them did not. And so I'm sure everybody's seen. Yeah, I'm sure everybody across the street's seen tape on that. But I have a lot of faith in our pass rush. I do. And like you said, I have a lot of faith in Mike Elko to have a lot dialed up that we haven't seen yet. And draw from that Miami tape too. Miami's a good football team, man.
So Akeem Messador had a sack and a half on the right side. Reuben Bain had the half sack, but he's the best player.
Right.
He is fantastic. And Ahmad Moten had a sack. So that's the 3. And if you look at the Notre Dame side, guys, that defense that we know is really good. I'm seeing Boubacar Traore with the sack, and that's about it. And he's really good. That guy is going to be a player. Bryce Young, the son to Bryant Young, did not have a great game. He's expected to be also a first-round pick. So
Yeah.
I got talent. This is a giant jump in talent.
It's Notre Dame. At no point will you ever look at Notre Dame's roster and say they don't have talent. The Golden Helmet recruits itself, whether you like it or not, no matter how much you absolutely despise Notre Dame.
how many points does A&M have to score to win this game? Because I don't think they win this game if it's in the teens. If it's a 13-10 kind of game, I think that's more Notre Dame.
You saying like minimum?
Yeah.
Like floor?
Yeah, give me the floor. Like, does 22 points win the game?
27.
You're going to follow the Miami recipe?
Let's follow. I mean, it worked for Miami.
Minimum, I'm going to go 24. I mean, I think this.
I was going to say 24. Yeah.
Yeah. And you think you can hold Notre Dame to below 24 points?
I mean,
yeah, I do.
You've given up 22 and 20, right? On the year?
What's the number Well, yeah, but you've given up some of those points with second and third stringers, and in South Bend, those guys are just going to be there in uniform, if needed, kind of thing. Here's another question: what's the number if we get to, we win?
31.
And don't say like 80.
31.
Yeah.
31 points, you win that game. Agree?
Yeah, I think we agree.
That would be fantastic. Yeah.
If you score 31 on that defense with that secondary that they have, with that defensive line on the road, you're winning that game.
Yeah, I agree. 100%.
Yeah. And I mean, yeah, if you do that, I mean, then I think guys like somebody like that we haven't seen much of, Le'Veon or Ruben, somebody's going to get off on that.
It's a special day.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was going to say if we get to 30, you score 30 on the road, like in that environment, right? But at 30 on the road against that team, I think 30 is the number. I think 28 might be the number, quite frankly. I think if you can get to 28, you beat them, period.
All right, let's hit a break here. We'll come back and we'll play the Prize Picks game with Luke Evangelist. If you're headed to South Bend this week to watch the Aggies beat the hell out of Notre Dame, then you need to join the Association of Former Students at Yale Practice Friday, the 12th, 10 p.m. Eastern Time at Island Park at Century Square. That's 10 p.m. South Bend time. Before Yale practice, and the band is playing the setup to go off the stage, or on the stage, I should say, at 9:20. I guess off the stage. Meet the Yale leaders and join the Aggie team as they get you ready for the Aggies to beat the hell out of the Irish. There's no tickets required. Just come out and be a part of the Aggie spirit. Again, Yale practice Friday, September the 12th, 10 p.m. South Bend time at Island Park at Century Center. To learn more about it and all the association's away game activities, visit tx.ag/away games. It's the Association of Former Students.
I wish I had Olin here for it because he loves energy drinks. Catalyst Citrus Spark. This is one of the new flavors out there. Whether you're grinding through workouts, cramming for a test, or closing in on a deal, or getting ready for TexAgs Live, you never know, right? Fast becoming the go-to fuel for Aggies everywhere. Zero sugar, I'm all in for that. Or synthetic sweeteners, no artificial colors or flavors. Catalyst delivers clean, high-performance energy with smooth, crisp taste that is never syrupy, designed for both health and hustle. You want to get going? You use this Catalyst right here. It's about pure energy and pure results. And what sets them apart? Packed with premium nootropics blended to boost focus, clarity, and mental stamina. I need this. I'm in, guys. I'm in. Plus, with plant-based caffeine, vitamin B12, B6, Catalyst supports metabolism and energy production, making it more than a drink. It's your lifestyle training partner. Built for competitors on the field, Catalyst fuels strength, focus, and pure results. Buy now at drinkcatalyst.com. That is drinkcatalyst.com. Train harder, think sharper, pure results. It's Catalyst.
As a reminder, the final segment of the program is brought to you by Double Dave's at 10:50. Right now, caller number 12, 979-693-1150. We're going to hook you up with your choice of a dozen pepperoni rolls or a large one-topping pizza from Double Dave's. They've been serving Aggieland since 1984 with your favorite pizza and, of course, those world-famous pepperoni rolls. Reliable in-house delivery, bringing piping hot goodness straight to your door. Just click on doubledaves.com and your favorites are on their way. We go to the Angry Elephant News and Social Center, costume change. Luke Evangelist is there for the Prize Picks game. Go to prizepicks.com/TexAgs. Use the code TexAgs, and what happens then, Luke?
You receive a guaranteed $50 once you play your first $5 in lineups.
Good job, buddy. You get the game for us, and you said that I'm dominating? Is that the...
I mean, I wouldn't say all that. You were 5-3 last week, and you currently lead by
team.
2 picks. 1 pick over Roy May.
That means I would be a 10-6 team when they play 16 games in the NFL. I'd be in the playoffs.
Congratulations on your good start to the regular season, Callie Garner, but what actually matters is the entire season.
I don't know why you guys laugh. I don't understand the joke.
Callie loves to flex that her fantasy football team was good in the regular season last year, but
inside joke for only 5 people that get it.
conveniently she
it.
lost when it actually mattered.
All right, Blanche, let's go.
Okay, our first one is going to be Marcel Reed, more than or less than 186.5 passing yards.
More.
I saw this. I'm actually in on this on the Prize Picks already. And you can goblin or demon it or whatever.
You're experienced.
Yeah, I went with the demon. I think he's going to get more than for sure.
You started off saying 100 something, so I thought we were going to be talking about rushing yards straight up. Like 180, I was like, ooh, 180 rushing yards. That's probably no. Passing yards, more. Come on.
I'm actually going to go less than.
His rushing total right now is at 33.5. I almost put it on here, but then I was like, everyone's going to put more. So
I mean,
get on and play that.
I will say this: if he has, almost you can think about it. If he has less than that, then maybe it's because we're not behind late in the game, chunking the ball around. Maybe we're running the ball fantastic and zone read, and we're up so big we don't have to throw. Hey, there's a way to look at it both ways. There you go. Some optimism for you.
On the flip side of that, we've got CJ Carr more than or less than 205.5 passing yards.
Less than.
This is tough.
Yeah, it's a low number.
They're going to run.
We say that, and I don't know if it was the looks, but man, they were throwing a lot in the Miami game. And he was right at 200, I want to say. I'm going to go, he's home, second game. I'm going more than.
He had 221.
Yeah, I'll go more.
Gosh, I'm going to lose my lead this week. Gosh.
I think I'm going more as well.
All right. And next up, we've got Joey Aguilar from Tennessee, more than or less than 201.5.
Ooh.
Who are they playing and where?
They're playing
That
Georgia.
Georgia defense.
Is it at Georgia?
No, at Tennessee.
Oh, it's in Tennessee. What was the number?
201.5.
For the half.
It's tough because I was at 201 myself.
I was at 201.4.
I'm going to go more. Give me more.
Have you watched Joey Aguilar play?
No. I don't know anything about it, but.
Do you know any of his story?
No.
Can you name a receiver on Tennessee?
Nope.
No, that's okay. Joey Aguilar, just so because I think you should know, was the quarterback at UCLA.
No, I knew that. I knew that part. Yeah,
and then Nico, they did
Nico,
the whole,
they swapped.
Yeah, the wife swap.
I knew that part. No, but there's nothing else.
Wife swap.
It really wasn't a wife swap, but it just felt right to say that.
I'm going less than. Tennessee still wants to run the ball, so I'm going less than.
Yeah, I'll go less.
I'm going less. This is where Matt Browning takes the lead.
We've got another SEC quarterback for y'all, Garrett Nussmeier, more than or less than 282.5 passing yards.
That Florida defense.
Oh.
You said 282.5?
Yep.
A big number.
Yeah,
I'm going more.
But he threw for only 200 and something last week, right, Luke?
Yeah, he's been about 220 on both his games.
But they did take on a very good,
what we think.
Clemson defense.
What we think is, yeah.
I'm researching. Hold on.
What are you
This is tough.
Nussmeier threw for 237 against Louisiana Tech.
And the week prior?
He had 232 against Clemson.
But they're at home.
Yeah, I'm going more. I like my more on this.
I'm going less than.
Yeah.
They have a running game this year. Florida's okay. This is tough because you blink, the dude throws for 4,000 yards, so he's going to get 300-plus yard games. But I'll go less than.
Yeah, I'll go less on this one. That's a big number.
Less.
Next up, we've got Byron Brown from USF against Miami.
The Bulls.
More than or less than 244 passing plus rushing yards.
Oh, passing plus.
Oh.
Yeah.
The old.
I like this, the old switcheroo.
Or the combiner.
You know what? I'm going more. I like more on that.
What was the number again?
244 and a half.
Can you tell me what the numbers have been the last couple of games? I can do that myself.
Yeah, no, I got you.
You're good.
Against Florida, he combined he had 263 passing, so he would have blown that out of the water,
Yep.
plus 66. So quick math, that's about 320 plus. And then against Boise, he had 250 plus.
But they got to go to Hard Rock. Come on, bruh. Nah, less than.
I'm going more than. I think they're for real. I don't think they care about these Florida teams. They live in that state. That's not going to intimidate them.
You and I we're sharing the brain again. Yeah, I'm going more than. I like this guy. I like this team. And worst case scenario, Miami blows him out of the water and he's chucking the ball all over the park late.
Yeah, I mean, that would be helpful. The good thing about Prize Picks is it doesn't really matter who wins and loses. You
Exactly.
can still be a winner if your team loses. Next up, we've got,
This guy
they pay me for that.
doing it for the brand.
Do they actually pay you?
Actually, no.
Okay.
But they pay TexAgs, which is good enough.
So indirectly they pay. you.
Indirectly, they pay me. Zachariah Branch, the wide receiver from Georgia, more than or less than 49 and a half receiving yards.
They're going to need more than.
He had 95 against Marshall, 17 against Austin Peay.
Surprised you didn't pick Noah Thomas, sir.
Well,
Don't.
hasn't exact. Never mind.
I'm going to go more.
I haven't had eyeballs on much Georgia this year.
Same, I have no idea.
I'm going more than.
I'll go less than.
This is where I go 0 for 5. Or however many games we do.
I love when
You know what? I'll go more than.
So I just feel like.
so inconfident.
I literally
Yeah,
have
this
not
week
seen
I'm
a
not
single
Since-
snap of Georgia football
Well,
this
that's
season.
great. What a great segue because our next player is Gunnar Stockton, more than or less than 1.5 passing touchdowns.
More than.
Is Tennessee?
Tennessee's got a good D.
Yeah,
But
I'm
they
going.
are out.
I'm
They're
passing.
missing
I'm
two of
going
their
less
corners.
than. Gunner's going to use his legs.
Yeah, I'll go less.
I'm going to go more.
And we're
Michael's
going to wrap
winless.
up with Cade Klubnik, more than or less than 1.5 passing touchdowns
Who do they have?
against Georgia Tech.
Georgia
At
Tech.
home?
At Georgia Tech.
At the Ramblin' Wreck. I'll go more than. You said 1.5?
Yep.
Yeah, more.
Yeah, more.
What's the question again?
1.5.
Cade
Cade
Klubnik
Klubnik.
passing touchdowns.
In the ATL.
More.
Yeah, I'm going more. God, I'm going to be in the
Clean sweep
cellar
on
with
that one.
Matt Browning. We're going to be both
That's all.
terrible.
That's all.
That's all, folks.
All right. Good job. Well
Thank
done,
you,
fellas.
Luke. You know, it's my fault for like being happy of having a good week, and I just feel like it's going to be a disaster.
This is when he's going to go. He's going to go perfect next week. This week.
Oh gosh, that would be fantastic. Let's do this. Let's hit a break. When we come back,
Hey,
I'll
David,
text-
fiduciary.
No, fiduciary. Fiduciary. I can do it slow. I just can't read it and do it. Fiduciary. Have you guys had Buppy's Catering recently?
Yeah.
Yes.
So good.
Yes, last week it was absolutely fantastic.
Okay,
They had the tour of Italy.
Yeah, thank you. They were catering TexAgs, by the way, and they can do the same for you, for your office, your tailgate, your wedding, your holiday party, or maybe your Texas A&M watch party. How about that? Let Buppies be the MVP of your next event. They've been around for 35 years. They've catered for generations of families. They know what they're doing. They can take care of you in many different ways. We can talk about the bartending part of their business. They have this mobile bar, so they can set it up anywhere, maybe a football tailgate. Pretty soon the holidays will be here, and they've got their bar bundle discount, and they can do just about anything you need. They have an amazing and professional staff here to help you every step of the way. They love feeding Americans here on Thursdays, especially at TexAgs. So what you need to do is contact them by calling them up at 979-779-6417. That's 979-779-6417, or go to buppies.com. That's buppies.com. All right, guys, let's talk about some new partners, Aggieland Hydration and Injectables. They're Aggie owned and operated. They are an mobile IV hydration company that was founded back in 2024. I met with Sheldon and Danny over the last week, and they're awesome people. They really know what they're doing. They're proud to serve Bryan College Station with awesome services like IV hydration, Botox, and even some weight loss options. Whether you're looking for a quick boost of hydration or dehydration preventative, they can tailor an IV cocktail specific to your needs. and on a busy weekend. I know some of you guys might be partying a little bit too much. If that's the case, an IV can be one of the easiest ways to ensure you're receiving all those necessary vitamins and minerals to make you feel better. Their overall mission is to bring a more personalized and accessible wellness option to the broader range of clientele here in the Bryan College Station and Brazos Valley area. To book an appointment or inquire about it, just call them up or text them, 979-217-1561. Again, it's Aggieland Hydration and Injectables. Check them out. It's our friends at Aggieland Hydration and Injectables. Fan Show presented by Prize Picks. Let's talk really quickly about Brazos Running Company, located at Century Square. Aggie owned and operated specialty running store with an outstanding selection of running gear and shoes, including Brooks, On, and Hoka. If you're a runner or into fitness, the right shoe makes all the difference in the world. And at the Brazos Running Company, they're passionate about that. And they're going to find that right shoe for you. Not only will they find the right shoe for you, they have all the top brands you can imagine, from Viore to Duck Camp to Turtle Box to Stanley Cups. It is the Brazos Running Company, located at Century Square below the Star Cinema Grill in College Station. It's the Brazos Running Company. All right, guys, so let's play out both scenarios this weekend. They win, what? They lose, what? Roy, start us off. Just what it does for the trajectory of the season, or does it? How much does it move the needle either way?
I'm going to assume neither of those would be blowouts, right? Like just moderate win, moderate loss, right?
6-point win, 6-point loss.
Okay, fair enough. A win all of a sudden catapults Texas A&M in the national perspective. We could start getting talked about. If we win, I think a lot of it is because of Marcel Reed. Marcel Reed maybe starts sneaking into some Heisman talks, like, hey, dark horse, look at this guy. Just took A&M on the road to Notre Dame. And so I think all of a sudden the season sets up differently, because you can lose this one and still get to the playoffs, right? It's not a conference game, but it's a perception game. I mean, this is a big perception game. So if you win, just so many of those narratives change. If you lose, then so many of those narratives stay the same. So this is almost like a narrative game to an extent, because it doesn't necessarily say that you can't make it to the playoffs, but it either says you have now bucked the trend and Mike Elko is the dude and this program is going in the right direction, or there's good old Texas A&M. Here we are again, losing on the road to an opponent that, it's like, top 25 opponent on the road. So I think a lot of this just has to do with narratives and perception. If we win, I'm probably going to go streaking around the neighborhood, though. Just kidding.
Yeah, I think a victory certainly.
We don't have an HOA. I'm good.
Even if it's a 0-2 Notre Dame team at that point, right? You beat them, they start out 0-2, but yeah, you're a contender now, and then it would be, can this team handle success, right? Something that this program program before Elko, before these players, but they have a hard time handling success sometimes for various reasons, right? Some legit, some not. So that's one deal. If you lose, even by 6 points, I think the helmet bias comes off, and we got teams right now sitting at a loss, super high ranked. Notre Dame's one of them. If A&M at 16 or 18, where are we at?
16, yeah.
If they'll drop us out, or we'll be at the bottom, barely ranked or not ranked. I mean, it's unfortunate, but that's just there's a lot of bias and some history there, how they treat us.
Well, I mean, these two nailed it. I mean, y'all honestly nailed it. That's exactly exactly my thoughts. I mean, the idea, though, for me, like I said earlier, is that I think this one's important because if our ultimate goal is the playoff, right? This is a game that, as of right now, as we're sitting here right now with the body of work we've seen from everybody, this game looks winnable. Where there were games on our schedule that we probably looked at before the season. And I know we looked at Notre Dame and LSU and Texas and thought those are going to be tough games. But there's some teams on there now. Missouri looks really good.
Yep.
Arkansas looks really good. These teams look good. Auburn looks really good. I mean, these are teams that are looking a lot better than even Mississippi State.
Well, let me ask you this. Okay, it's the same question, but both directions. If it's a significant win, 18 or more. 18 or more win, 18 or more loss.
I think that goes right back to Roy. I mean, the narrative really changes then. I mean, you win this game, you eke out a victory, and you go in there and blow them out. I honestly think that, though, if you win by 18, if you beat Notre Dame by 18, it's far less talk on our end. It's how bad they are.
Yeah.
How far is Notre Dame falling? Because they would much rather talk about the fall of Notre Dame than the rise of A&M. I get that part, but a loss that bad, I think it's. I don't know. I don't know. 2020, we got smoked by Bama and still almost made the playoffs. So
you get smoked. Here come the 8-4 stories. Here come the same old, right? Probably deserved for this program. So that would be unfortunate. That would totally deflate this fan base.
Well, here's another one. All right, not necessarily the score, but if some of those questions that we have are answered, they limit Jeremiah Love and Jadarian Price. Their secondary actually does lock up some wide receivers. If we answer some of those questions, regardless of the score, then what? Because if you win by a lot, but you're still giving up these big, huge plays, I think that's going to be a scary situation. But if you do limit those huge plays, then I think it gives you, a little bit more confidence that this team can be super special.
Well, I mean, I think if you answer a lot of the questions we have, then you're going to win. I truly believe that. I mean, if we go into South Bend and answer these handful of questions that we've had or concerns, however you want to put them, about this team, I mean, if you answer those concerns, then I think we're going to win. I don't know that necessarily we'll go in there and blow their doors off. And to be honest, going back to the narrative thing, I don't know that blowing their doors off would be the greatest thing on the planet relative to the narrative. I don't know that it's going to help us anymore if we win by 20 as opposed to winning by 6, because it'll just be the fall of the Golden Domers, pretty much. Yeah. And NBC will have to go into a period of mourning for their beloved, Notre Dame. But so I think if we answer the questions, I think we do win.
Schoonover, you had a text you wanted to read to the group?
Yeah, Steve from College Station is active in the chat. He says, how does A&M avoid a slow start on the road?
Don't have a turnover. Force a turnover. How about that?
I think Roy answered that earlier. Special teams, good big special teams play. Get started. Get a kick return, a punt return that gets you a good field position.
I don't think you'll have a ton of kick return stuff with this game. I think both kickers are pretty adept at kicking it through the end zone. This is one of those where it does it like if you get the ball, you got to score. I don't care if it's 3 points. You get the ball, you got to score. If you don't get the ball, they can't score. Like if you start on defense, they can't score. That's the only way to avoid a slow start, because a lengthy drive for them to go down, even if they kick a field goal or kick a touchdown, like that's momentum for them, and you've taken away the momentum. You've left your offense sitting on the bench for a while. You get out on offense, you go 3 and out. Again, like I don't know exactly how they do it, to be quite frank. I don't. I mean, I wish I knew, because I'd go across the street and tell them. But it's just one of those things where you've got to find a way to like just steal it on the road.
I feel like Klein is trying to set up the pass to affect the run, so get 1 and 7 involved quickly.
That's going to do it for TexAgs Live. We'll see you
Mañana.